Hello, this is Lisa with the Coaching Center for Mind Training and Success. It's good to be here with you again today. And I am going to be teaching another EFT technique called the 9Gamut technique, which actually combines an element of EFT with another technique, EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprogramming. This works really well for helping the brain to deactivate conditioned responses. That might be emotional triggered responses, or it could be some kind of habit response. I'll put some details more into what's happening with this technique, but right now I just want to demonstrate it for you. There's only one point that you're going to be stimulating through tapping, rubbing, or applying a pulsing pressure throughout the whole process while doing movements with your eyes. And then there's a couple of points where you do some vocalization. The point that you're going to be using is on the back of the hand right here. It's a trigger point that's between the bones of the pinky finger and the ring finger. It's on the back of the hand. So if you go to the knuckle between the pinky and the ring finger, and then you go back, you should feel a groove in there in between those bones at the back of the hand. So you're going to be right inside that groove. Now, I mentioned that you can tap, rub, or applying a pulsing pressure to any of those points. But what I find is that once you start to do the eye movements, it's sort of like the rubbing your stomach and tapping your head at the same time. It can go a little bit haywire because your hand wants to start moving in the direction that your eyes are moving. So what I find is that for the 9Gamut technique, that I can better keep up the stimulation of the point here on this gamut point on the back of the hand if I'm tapping versus if I'm trying to rub or even doing a pulsing pressure. But you can test it out for yourself and see what works well for you. But just some stimulation of this point continually here on the back of the hand, what we call the gamut point. And it's called the 9Gamut technique because there's 9 things that you are doing, 9 steps, things that you'll be doing while you're continually stimulating this point here. Just like EFT, it's a little bit of an odd technique, but it works really well, and it's been used a lot for PTSD and phobia, or phobic responses, anxiety attacks, etc. It's literally, as you're moving your eyes, it is actually shifting how your brain is firing off signals. So there's some other elements to it as well. I'm not going to go into that. I just want to demonstrate the actual process with you. So I'm going to have my hand up here in front of the screen. It's going to be in front of my face a little bit here, but I want to make sure that you're continually seeing what it's like to tap on the hand while you're doing the eye movements. I'm going to get a little bit closer so you can see my eyes. And you're always going to start off with any kind of tapping, ideally identifying what you're experiencing that you're trying to shift. So if we're dealing with an emotional state, maybe it's fear, maybe it's anxiety, it might be anger. So some kind of negative emotional state that you're wanting to help yourself shift out of, you're having a hard time getting out of it, shifting your thoughts or shifting that emotion or decreasing that emotion. So what are you feeling, and then what's the intensity level of it on a scale of 0 to 10 right now, 10 being the highest you can imagine, 0 being it's not there at all. So with the majority of tapping, you're going to start at, what am I feeling? What's the intensity level, 0 to 10? And then you begin the process. So once you've got that, then you're going to start here on the back of the hand. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to close your eyes, or your eyelids technically, for a moment. And you're just focusing inward as you do that. Focus on your breath and focus on the tapping. It only needs to be for a few seconds that you close your eyelids and then you open your eyelids. Most of the steps that you're going to do is you do one thing and then you do the opposite of it. So what's the opposite of closing your eyelids? Opening your eyelids. right? And then the next thing you're going to do is look down and over to your right. Now, if you're looking at me in the camera, you're going to be seeing me as if I'm looking over to the left, but I'm actually looking over to my right. So you'll want to look over to your right as well. So down and over to the right, and then you move over to the left. So you're still looking down and you're moving over to the left. And then you look up towards your forehead, and you're going to slowly roll your eyes clockwise as wide as you can. So you should feel a little bit of a strain in your eye muscles as you're doing that. So you're going to be going over to the right as if there's a clock face on your face, and you're going and looking at all the numbers on the face of the clock. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3, 4, 5, 6, down. It should be down towards your chin. 7 over a little bit to the left. 8, 9 should be over towards your ear. 10, 11, and then 12 up towards your forehead or the ceiling. So again, it's a slow clockwise roll as wide as you can. So there's a little bit of strain in your eye muscles. And then you're going to do the opposite, which is counterclockwise. Make sure that you're still breathing. A lot of people tend to hold their breath while they're doing this. So make sure you're still breathing till you get back up to 12 o'clock again. Then you're going to look forward, rest your eyes a little bit, and then you're going to count from 1 to 5. And then you're going to, first you're going to hum for about 5 seconds or 5 to 6 notes. And it doesn't matter what you're humming. You can hum random notes. You can hum the first few notes of a favorite song. Typically, we tend to teach people happy birthday because it's something that most people know and has good feelings around it. So it would look like this or sound like this. And then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to hum again. And then I'm going to look down towards my chin. And I'm going to roll my eyes up through the middle of my face, from my chin up through to my forehead. I'm going to pause briefly along the way. You might imagine a ladder in front of you with 6 rungs on it. And you look down at that bottom rung, number 1, the second rung, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6 as your eyes rolled all the way up towards your forehead. And you continually to tap the ear or stimulate the gamut point right here. Okay. And so once you do that, eye roll up towards the forehead, that's where you stop and you take a deep breath and you let it go. And then you tune back into the feeling and give a rating now of 0 to 10. How strong does it feel now? You should notice that it has decreased a point or a couple of points. If it's still high, if it's still above a 5, still problematic, then you just go ahead and you repeat the process again. So close eyes, open eyes, hard down to your right, hard down to your left. Up at 12 o'clock, slow clockwise roll. Remembering to breathe. Up at 12, then slow counterclockwise roll. And then relax your eyes forward, hum, count, hum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can also do math instead of counting. So if you like math, do some math and then hum again. And then you finish with looking down at your chin and maybe out to your lips, under your nose, out to your nose, bridge of your nose, and forehead. Stop tapping, take a deep breath. Let it go. And check in with the emotion. What rating does it feel like right now of intensity, 0 to 10? If it's still above a 5, you would want to repeat. If you're below a 5, you can ask yourself whether you're at a low enough number where you can, feel better or move on to what you might need or want to do at that moment, or to be in a more constructive state. to handle whatever situation triggered you in the first place. All right, so that's the 9-gamut technique. If you have any questions, just please post them down below, and I will do my best to answer them. I will also put some information in there about how you can learn more about the 9-gamut technique and exactly what it is doing within the brain that helps to create the response that you're getting from it. Take care.